Some hikes are about making the miles, and some hikes are just about being there. This is one of those hikes. Hello there. I'm out at Hawn State Park. It's the last 2 days of February. We had a warm front come through a couple of days ago, which has put our highs somewhere in the 60s, lows around freezing. It is so gorgeous out here. Well, this looks like a good spot to take a break, have a little snack, boil up some drinking water. I forgot to bring a water filter, and I only brought 2 liters. I need to polish this one off while I'm here. Beautiful setting. Alright, made it to camp. This is backpacking site number 7, and right here in the camping area are a couple of examples of widowmakers. You got this cedar that snapped off here, and you can see it laying on the ground. That's maybe 25-foot cedar. And then there's an oak. This is right on the spur trail from the Whispering Pines Trail into the campsite, which is maybe 50 to 75 feet long. Let me show you this oak. And here's the oak, which snapped off over here and is laying on the ground here. They trimmed most of the limbs off of it because it was blocking the trail into camp. I'm trying to find a tent site that I think is safe. Really don't look like any safe options. I'm in a pretty thick forest, and we have wind gusts over 20 miles per hour all through today and tomorrow. Alright, I really can't find what I think is a safe, like guaranteed safe place to camp. This looks the safest. It's directly ahead of me. There's a flat spot just to the right of the rocks. It's kind of a low spot. We're not supposed to have rain, so that's where I'm camping. And I'll show you why. I have this standing dead pine over here. I'll get a little bit closer. It's the tallest tree here in this area. So there you can see the top of it. And here at the base of it, it's been dead and rotted long enough to lose most of the bark. Woodpeckers have been working on it. And fortunately, the wind is blowing in this direction generally. There is no lean to this tree. So if it does go, I'm just hoping it goes in the direction of the wind. I do have a fairly tall pine between myself and that dead tree. The spot I picked to camp is kind of in line with those 2 trees, so if it falls, it should hopefully catch up in that living pine. On the other side, I have a leaning pine, which is still alive, but it's leaning across the remainder of the campsite over here. You can see that has a definite lean, and it's leaning in the direction that the wind is blowing right now. Well, if it's my time, it's my time. I really am not that worried. Not really. So, I guess it was about a little over a year ago that I was out here on the Whispering Pines Trail, and I hiked the entire trail, and I camped at backpacking site number 5, which is actually my favorite place to camp out here because it's a pretty site and it has water. But I checked out all 10 of the campsites. You have to camp in a designated area and reserve it out here. And here at site number 7, I thought it had quite a bit of charm too. It's been trashed a little bit. When I was here over a year ago, it was in pristine condition. But it's still pretty. What I like is the area around the fire ring. So here you can see the fire ring with a semicircle of stones around it, and then the stones that will be next to my tent just off to the side from there. So before I pitch camp, I've got to tell you a story of what happened as soon as I got here to the site. I didn't even have my pack off yet. I just stepped off the trail into the campsite, and I heard voices on the trail coming from the direction like they would have been headed towards me, the opposite direction. And we have a 6-mile loop on the north loop, and we're on the south loop, which is about 5 miles. Somehow they were only going to do the north loop, these 3 young men, and they got lost, which I've been lost out here before too, so I get it. And they ended up doing the entire south loop, so they're going to do about 11 miles total by the time they get back to their car. And fortunately, I had a map on me, and I could show them a shorter way using the connector trail to get back to their car instead of completing the entire north loop. But either way, they're going to get back there okay. I have to say though, I'm a little worried. It's after 3. I don't know what time it gets dark this time of year. Probably around 5:36, something like that. They don't have any kind of flashlight or headlamp or anything, so they need to kind of not, hurry it up and get back there. I'm a little worried for them, but I have pretty good confidence they're going to make it. The trail from here back to the car, they shouldn't have any problems with getting lost on that part of the trail. When you're here though in the south loop, every once in a while, well, even on the north loop in a couple of spots, it does get kind of faint, the trail does, and it's difficult to tell where it is. All right, I love this feature on this backpack, the zipper from the top to the bottom. That way I can keep everything off the ground and just get to what I want. So I'm going to go ahead and get camp pitched. I went really heavy on this trip, I'm not going to lie. Got a lot of fun stuff though. And it's a good workout. It's only 5 miles. It's not that bad. But I could tell that I'm just coming off the couch after a long winter. I can feel it. All right, camp is pitched. The narrow side to the left of the tent is against the prevailing winds. Hopefully they don't change during the night. I have a cedar and a live pine. The third tree pack is the standing dead pine. And then I have the fire ring off to the right. All right, everything's laid out in the tent. All my extra clothes for tonight. We are getting down to freezing, so I'll sleep with water and batteries. I have my quilt, mat, a couple of pillows, backpack off to the left, and then just kind of a row of gear and food and those types of things. I'm pretty well set. It's 4 o'clock, and I had considered having a small fire. I brought my stove. I always do when I have to camp at a public site. I prefer to camp over a campfire, but if I'm dispersed camping, I always feel confident I could do that. But in a public site, it's difficult to find enough firewood to get a bed of coals to cook over. But I've been giving it a second thought anyway on having a fire tonight with the wind gust the way they are and the forest dry enough to catch on fire. For safety, I'm probably not going to have a fire tonight, which is kind of a bummer. I was looking forward to it. I'm up on ridgeline, and the wind just blows straight through here. So yeah, I'll skip that fire. Man, that's a bummer. I do have a fire ring, but that doesn't mean the wind won't blow an ember out of that and into the dry leaves. Well, that's okay. I brought a book. I should have brought my chair. I really didn't have room in the pack to add another item, though. I went pretty heavy. I didn't weigh my pack. I should have. I could tell when I put it on. It was around that 45, 50 pound mark. Way too much, but yeah. You know, as long as I can do it, I'm probably going to do it. So I just make this rock my seat for the night. Yeah, I'm going to wish I had that chair. A backrest makes all the difference. It really does. I'm using something new for the first time on this trip. It's Zoleo, satellite communication device. I really researched all the different ones, and this one I thought would be the one that would be the easiest for me to use and do everything I needed. So that's why I chose this one. So far I like it. There's a whole lot to learn, a lot I don't know about it. I downloaded a map of this area. You have Bluetooth out of this to your phone. So I downloaded a map onto my phone of Hawn State Park, and I was hoping that it would show me my location on the trail. It does show the Whispering Pines Trail on the map, and it didn't show that, like all trails or Gaia would. So I'm going to have to play around with that, because my understanding is that it would. But what it does that's really neat is it leaves breadcrumbs for anybody that I allow access to this device to follow me. And I set it up for every 30 minutes. I think you could go anywhere from every 6 minutes to every 4 hours. And it works. I've been in touch with my wife, and she's able to tell where I am at 30-minute intervals. She knows exactly where I'm camped tonight. She already let me know that, which is really cool when you think about it. It does have an SOS button. You open this lid, hold down the button for 3 or 5 seconds, and you can interface your phone with this to text to the people you reach when you activate the SOS feature. That's primarily why I have this. It's my wife insisted that I'm hardly ever in cell phone range, and she insisted that I get something like this just in case something happens. But here's a great feature on this, is that I can text either through Wi-Fi, cell with this, or satellite, all 3 options. And it will charge after a certain number of satellite hits per month. I forgot, like 50. It's a big number. Then it'll charge like 50 cents per shot or something, but I'm not worried about that. I don't think I'll ever get to 50. But I have been texting with my wife, and I knew as soon as I got out of my car, I was outside of cell range, and I've been this entire trip. So texting with her is easy. When she sends me a text, I have it set up to ping that satellite to see if I have any incoming messages, I think every 15 minutes. So there could be a delay. I could make that quicker, but when I send one to her, it's immediate, as long as I have no issues reaching a satellite, which so far has been working. So we'll see how it goes in the future. I think I'm really going to like having this. I'm glad that she talked me into getting it. There's some really cool rocks here. Tried to get closer to the armadillo, but he saw me and took off. I need a bigger telephoto lens. I brought a book to read, Camping and Woodcraft by Horace Kephart. This was originally published in 1917. He's written several books, or he wrote several books, and I really think I read all of them when I was a boy. I thought it'd be interesting to purchase these and go back and read them again. It's pretty interesting so far. Kind of basic how to camp, basic what we would call bushcraft skills today. And it's just kind of neat reading an older novel. A little wine, a cigar, and a book to read. Life is good. Well, I'm going to have to go get that puffy pretty soon. Sun's going down, definitely below the ridge lines. It's chilling. Tonight's dinner, pork jambalaya. This sounds good. A spicy combination of bell peppers, tomatoes, and onions with shredded pork and rice. My wife, what a genius. She got me this set of collapsible measuring cups so I don't have to have soupy dinners anymore. Thanks, sweetie. Boy, it's been a long time since I've had some jambalaya. This looks good. The thing about these meals is they're always so steamy hot when it's time to eat them. In fact, it's pretty hot in my hand. Boy, that looks good. It's well hydrated. That is good. That's really good. All right, so we're around 6 o'clock. I'm going to go ahead and eat dinner and read for a bit and then call it a night. So unless something happens, which is exciting, and I certainly hope it does not, I'll see you guys in the morning. So I'll go ahead and say goodnight now and just enjoy the rest of the evening. Good night. Good morning. Just having some coffee, packing up. Beautiful morning. It's warming up quick. Everything was frosty this morning. It's a cold night. But I slept pretty well overall. You know, always say given the circumstances, I slept great. And looking forward to today. It's supposed to be a pretty warm day, so I'm going to start cold and shed off this base layer and everything before I get started. Got a bit of a late start here. Beautiful morning though. It's just slightly chilly, so I'll start cold and I'm sure I'll warm up fast. Spent a little bit of time exploring around the area. Cleaned up camp. I like to leave it a little bit better than what I found it when I can. And this is a beautiful site. Backpack site number 7. Yeah, I really like it. It's got a gorgeous valley, a lot of cool rocks, big stream at the bottom of the valley. Saw a couple of deer. It's going to be a good day. Let's get hiking. There's the trail. I just have to get down there. This hike along the stream is so peaceful, and it's nice that I haven't seen another person all day. Well, everybody, I'm almost back to the car. I really did enjoy this trip, and I hope you did too. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.